I don't know about you, but I'm glad we're going to be able to speak to everyone today about an epidemic that's threatening the very fabric of our great nation. C.H.U.Dism, Noel.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers?
How could that spread from person to person?
I have no idea.
How could contaminous, hazardous urban disposal spread from this movie? Like, have you ever seen a movie that deviates so much from the original in terms of tone and like canonical history?
I would like to make an informed decision on that, but I have never seen C.H.U.D 1.
Which is so confusing to me because you had previously seen this movie.
Yeah, I think this is the third time I've seen C.H.U.D 2.
You are a fucking mystery, man. I don't get it. Welcome to Bad Movies and Beer. I'm Cooper.
And I'm Nolan.
And today we are discussing C.H.U.D 2, Bud the C.H.U.D, which does convey, I feel, less of the terror of the original.
Yeah, so the original movie was a horror movie, and this is too, but this definitely is more of a spoof or riff on horror. They're definitely designing this more of a comedy.
Yeah, or trying to. I'm not sure how successful they are. But it is so wildly different from the original. And this is part of the reason why we have a special guest joining us today. Our friend Al is here, and he is uniquely qualified to discuss this movie. I'm going to let him tell you why. Welcome to the show, Al.
Oh, thanks for having me. Great to be here. Great to be uniquely qualified to watch Bud the C.H.U.D.
Yeah, explain that to everybody. What is your relationship with the original C.H.U.D?
I can't remember what happened. Did I lose a bet?
100%.
I had to watch it 3 times in a row.
For some reason, I don't know why this was a thing, but in our university, we went to college together, and like basically we would do like movie bets where if you lost, a person would have to watch the same thing like 3 times in the course of an evening. So that was one. Back to the Future Part 3 was one.
No, it was the entire Back to the Future trilogy.
Oh, okay. You had to watch the whole trilogy 3 times, or just the 3 movies?
Yeah. No, I actually didn't lose that.
9
bet.
Movies? No.
No.
Okay.
The 1, 2, and 3 back to back.
But
that
you
wasn't
did
even my bet. That was just for fun for me.
Okay. But you did have to watch C.H.U.D 3 times in a row.
On VHS.
So you had to rewind it.
I had to
you
rewind
could
it.
Pause to hit the washroom or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And how was that? How was the triple C.H.U.D?
I mean, it just got better and better every time I watched it.
John Hurd's performance had more nuance every single time that you...
So good.
I am picturing kind of a Clockwork Orange setup here. Like, were you taped to a chair and your eyes were stuck open while you're watching this thing 3 times
That's
in
true.
a row?
Did someone have to check in and make sure you were actually doing it? Was there... You had co-pilots for a couple of these, didn't you?
I think someone watched all 3.
I might have sat in on the middle session.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
We probably started at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but
yeah, man. But now we're going to discuss the sequel today. And of course, as you know, we always pair the movie up with a beer. Now, I'm just thrilled about this because I've been trying to get Noel to do a macro beer here for a while, a traditional old-fashioned beer. And I finally figured out how to do it. I just had to pick one that was woke as fuck. Because it is Pride Month, right? So this is how I backdoored this thing.
Oh my goodness! Oh,
what are we drinking today, Noel?
We have a tall can of Bud Light.
That's right. Yes.
This Bud's for you, baby.
How excited are you that we're doing this, though? You must love this.
Am I excited to drink Bud Light? I don't think so.
You're excited to support, important
the wokeism of Bud Light.
That's right.
Didn't they get canceled for being woke? As far like
not by you.
No, but by
I've heard you bought more Bud Light in the last 2 years than you ever have in your entire life.
I don't know that I've ever had a Bud Light in my entire life. So
oh, no.
This might be the very first time.
I'd like to apologize to members of the... no, I'm just kidding.
I'm excited to drink some beers and to have Al with us. I'm glad we have someone who has seen C.H.U.D 1 so he can sort of verify some of these questions I have about whether they've sort of stuck to the canon of that area or not, or if this is just all fucking made up for shits and giggles.
I think it's probably the latter. Are you not going to give us the history of the Anheuser-Busch Corporation here?
I know nothing about the Anheuser-Busch Corporation, so I'm going to need somebody to help me out here. Which one of you is the...
Fuck it. This is not about the beer. This is about the movie and about having a good time with our special guest. Why don't we just crack it open and get this shit started?
Yeah, right, and thanks for having me on with such a great beer, guys. Appreciate it.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
I'm not sure if you're sarcastic or not.
I mean, this costs more than a lot of the beer I've seen Al buy personally, so I don't know if that's,
This is a step up or down from James Reddy.
Old style Pilsner.
I mean, step down alcohol-wise.
It's actually quite easy to drink.
Of course it is. That's what beer's supposed to be.
Very easy drinking.
It's supposed to be easy to drink. So after the Vestron Pictures logo, we see a title card telling us that Lightning Pictures presents C.H.U.D 2 Bud the C.H.U.D. And then someone or something starts taking bites out of the logo. What's our record for the least amount of time before I'm thoroughly confused by a movie?
Ooh, which movie or how long?
How long? Because I'm like, what the fuck is this? Two different companies, and I don't know what's happening with this logo.
Yeah, we've definitely had some of these kind of things before. I know Spooky's had some of that weird stuff, and some of the other lower budget movies that had a few different title cards that have sent us in a confusing place. What's strange for me, or what I find confusing, is we're getting some levity with the title being chomped down, and we go immediately into a fairly serious hospital scene here.
Oh, yeah, there's the doctor checking in at a hospital desk, and that begins a long walk that lasts the entirety of the opening credits, only to have him arrive at the morgue, which is inexplicably being guarded by a member of the military police. Well, it would be inexplicable if they didn't immediately cut to a military hearing on the C.H.U.D program and its many, many failures.
So this is my very first question I have about the original. Was it a big military-style experiment in C.H.U.D 1 here?
No. Not at all. Not at all.
Well, hang on. They were the ones dumping the waste, weren't they?
Yeah, but it wasn't the military, was it?
No, it was municipal government, I think.
Government cover up. They couldn't.
Shit.
They couldn't transport toxic waste through Manhattan, so let's chuck it underneath.
And so the original is a horror movie about people turning into
Deformed
monsters.
sewer people, yeah.
And were they just the people who lived in the sewers and the waste turned them into cannibals?
Unclear, but probably.
I think it was mostly underground living homeless people turning into C.H.U.D.
Okay, and so in this, though, it is the military giving a medicine that was making super soldiers that are immortal or will not die?
They're trying to weaponize it, but we don't get to that until after this lengthy walk.
It's a short run time. They got to pad it.
It's 87 minutes. Yeah, this scene has to be. They give us 3 minutes of a guy fucking walking.
We're watching and Al calls out the padding in the first 2 minutes of the movie, which is amazing, and he's not wrong.
No, and you're not wrong about the U.S. military trying to weaponize this. They're hoping to use C.H.U.Ds as biological weapons, but as one scientist puts it,
the C.H.U.D enzyme stimulated the brain to a point of frenzy.
They showed a lot of spunk, that's all.
That's Robert Vaughn, who is clearly leading the pro-C.H.U.D charge, but despite his objections, the last C.H.U.D is about to be put down. Or is he?
Yeah, so this doctor who's been walking for about 5 minutes in the hospital is carrying a very large syringe full of what we find out is a lethal dose of a liquid for the C.H.U.D, or the last remaining C.H.U.D. He heads into the morgue room to inject it, and what happens?
I mean, the C.H.U.D springs to life suddenly, and we get our first of many overtly comic death struggles, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, and we see this all on a tiny monitor that the military policeman should be watching, but is missing out on. The C.H.U.D turns the tables here, knocks the lethal dose out of the doctor's hand, and takes a bite out of him. We see the military guy sort of run in there, and he's not successful either.
Do we know that, though? We never see him again, do we?
No, they actually don't let us know his fate. He probably became one of the many zombies in this movie, but we're not.
I feel like that happened a few times. There's a few loose ends where people just walked off screen.
Go figure. They couldn't tie all those together in this airtight screenplay. Yeah, a little bit surprising.
I think the security at this place was kind of foreshadowing that.
Fuck, well, we get even worse in a second, man. Like you said, Noel, they've got a C.H.U.D on the loose now. And the military springs into action armed with, I don't really know how to describe this, like the opposite of a flamethrower, an ice thrower? What is this weapon?
It looked like they were just firing off fire extinguishers, but actually it was some cryo-freezing gun.
Like liquid nitrogen or something like that? Okay. Unless you're Robert Vaughn, in which case you're just carrying around a riding crop. Maybe that's why you get so startled by a cat when he opens that door here.
Yeah, this is an out-of-nowhere jump scare, right? We're really treading a strange line between horror and comedy. They're trying to throw in some kind of tropes from a horror movie, but doing it in a funny way. The stuff that they spray and freeze our C.H.U.D, Bud the C.H.U.D, as we know from the title card, is pretty hilarious. We find out that our general wants to keep him in cryo so he can keep him alive and then use this research to create more super soldiers.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with the filmography of Robert Vaughn, but I feel like every movie I've seen him in, he's playing a sleazy bad guy who has like ulterior motives.
What other stuff has he been in? I have no idea.
Basketball?
And he's the bad guy. He's the bad
Was
guy.
he the villain in
Kind of the same
basketball?
character, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
nice.
literally not the same guy. It's not a fucking general in basketball.
Yeah.
Same attitude, though.
Did you say he was in Bullet also?
He was in Bullet, yeah.
Is he a corrupt something or other? City official?
I don't remember. I think he was.
I mean, he's got that persona.
So he's got it locked down. Now he is playing this role with a bit of a comic tinge, though. He's sort of laughing at himself as he performs most of his lines.
I mean, I'm not sure how seriously he took this movie.
He seemed a little tipsy.
But you think while he's doing this,
Yeah.
the whole time?
Yeah.
He was rocking a 6-pack of Bud Light each day before getting down.
Come on, that old leathery fucker could take down more than 6 Bud Light in a day. He's not doing Bud Light.
Sorry, a 12, a 12
6
pack.
bottles
yeah.
of fucking Johnny Walker Red. The military think they've got their man now, so with the threat seemingly stopped, we're free to head over to the local high school, where the biology department is stocked with dead bodies, and the classroom laboratories are stocked with students who are grossly undertrained in basic safety measures. So let the comedy begin.
We're getting introduced to our main characters here. We've got 3 teenagers. We've got Steve and Kevin and Katie, and they are struggling, it sounds like, in their science class. In
Well,
particular,
Steve and Kevin are for sure, yeah.
in particular, Steve and Kevin here. They've been asked to do a bit of a demonstration involving a dead frog and some electricity, and they start bragging about how they're going to bring this frog back to life, but instead Steve creates a fire and then dumps chemicals that spread it all over the fucking bench.
Starting to see why these guys' biology grade wasn't that great, you know?
But then they just let it burn.
Yeah.
They just walked away.
Well, but they were walking somewhere important. Where do they walk to?
So they do. You're right, Al. They walk away from a flaming desk and go to what is, I guess, their detention or punishment. They've been sent off to the science storage room to reorganize, to get some credit back with the teacher who they just lit their desk on fire.
Well, the science storage room's a fucking loading bay. It's like a goddamn warehouse.
Included in it is a corpse from the morgue. They have a body on a gurney, which will be used in class the next day. And accidentally, Steve bumps it, and it slides out of the loading bay door and onto the local road.
I like to imagine that dead body rolling across the country like Al's hero O.J. Simpson in Naked Gun 2.5 when he gets trapped under the bus. You know that scene?
Oh my god!
Al's a big Bills fan. I don't know if you guys know. R.I.P. O.J.
Yeah, sorry for your loss, Al.
Oh, man. Either way, that body is long gone. So Steve and Kevin need to find another one before they get in trouble. And they do, because apparently the Center for Disease Control, which is where that frozen chud from earlier is being stored, has the absolute smallest amount of security possible. Luckily, there's no way they could accidentally thaw it out and bring it back to life. They don't have the technology, right?
There's no way. They don't understand anything about bringing things back to life. So we get a bunch of physical comedy here of Steve dragging around the dead body in his home while Kevin's trying to distract Steve's parents who are watching bad National Geographic stuff on television. We get some jokes about Alaska having penguins, and we get some pretty traditional, like, boomer parent kind of comedy here.
God, they are such fucking boomer parent stereotypes. We get a whole bunch more of that later.
It's pretty brutal. The actual dragging the body around is kind of funny. We've got the dog chasing him as he's trying to drag it. He goes downstairs but can't get in because the dog's in the way, so he drags Bud all the way upstairs. In the process, hoofing the dog.
Well, I was going to say, how does he get the dog out of the way?
He just kicks it, and we see a dog-stuffed animal launch, like, across the entire household and, like, hit a wall, and nobody else notices. We definitely had a pretty good chuckle with that. He drags Bud into the bathroom and drops him in his mom's warm bath. How do you think mom's going to feel about finding a corpse in her warm bath?
She's just fucking sitting there watching TV with the
she's
old man.
engrossed in the penguins in the Arctic.
Yeah. She was letting it cool down. When you make a bath, sometimes it's a little hot. You got to let the temperature lower, right? Yeah.
Fair.
That is tragedy. This fucking slapsticky shit, though, as they go through here, is, I don't know, man. I did not find it funny at all. Although there was one amusing part, which was when after he's kicked the dog is, like, clearly not there anymore. But Kevin goes, when he goes to go upstairs, he, like, pretends to, like, shoo away what must be an imaginary. I wonder if that was, like, an ad lib. If they were like, good call, Kevin, that's nice.
I feel like maybe it was a part of the script, but the dog wasn't on its mark or something.
Animals are hard to work with, and so
he just went with it.
It did feel like that. You're right. Yeah. I think that's, it's like they had the dog and it wasn't where it was supposed to. We also had a little sister pop in here, and Steve told his little sister that she's dreaming everything, and if she doesn't go back to her room right now, it's gonna fucking kill her.
It's amazing how many times that worked in 80s movies. All the time. It's a dream. Oh, okay, yeah. They get this chud in the bathtub, like you said, and Steven fires up a hairdryer so his parents can't overhear their conversation. But after inexplicably blowing air into his own face, he fumbles it into the bathtub where the awesome power of electricity brings Bud the Chud back to life. And I love that rather than being alarmed by this, Steven is immediately all in.
We have discovered the secret of life, pal.
Oh, I think I'm gonna be sick.
Kevin, if we could analyze this, we could get an A in biology.
It is kind of sweet that all this happens because these two are worried about getting a bad mark in science class. Like, it's pretty wholesome motivation for these characters compared to other 80s movies we've seen.
But at the same time, they lost a human corpse and then stole another one.
But they're concerned about their grades is what I'm saying. Like, these are clearly they're not just out trying to get laid like most teenage boys in 80s movies.
That's a good point.
It is kind of funny because they did seem like two bitchin' dudes. Like, this did have a throwback to
Night of the Creeps.
Night of the Creeps, for sure. They were the right kind of characters to be like that. But you're right. Instead of trying to get pussy, they were out there busy trying to get A's in science.
Well, Steven's already got some, maybe. I mean, we see Katie in that swimsuit later. This is
Except I believe they were together the whole movie, but in the very end, he was like, "Nah, you guys, I'm out of here."
I got the feeling that it was starting to like shift. He was trying to like push her towards Kevin the whole time.
I agree.
And then at the end, he just bails.
So is he a hero because he selflessly gives up Katie to his friend?
Or is he a villain because he's tired of her? He just wants something new. This is played, but I can't just dump her. I'm going to slide her over to this guy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we've got stuff to talk about when we get to the end here, because I think when we explore more of what happens, we're going to be able to dig into what the screenwriters were thinking with this one.
I don't know if we'll ever be able to figure out what the screenwriters are thinking. We can give it a try. So Bud is up and moving now, and he's going to start roaming around Steven's parents' house in a minute. But before that happens, we get a quick scene back at the military base where they have finally realized the Chud is missing and are now trying to figure out the worst case scenario. Unsurprisingly, it's pretty much exactly the plot of this movie, only this guy makes it sound way, way more ominous than it ends up actually being.
The scientist here?
Yes.
Yeah, he is pretty hilarious. Of course, it's like a bald, like intellectual looking guy who's explaining this to the general. And he lays it out that the worst case scenario here is that they reanimate this guy and he kills them because he's reanimated. And that does sound pretty bad for our main characters, but we know this is an 80s movie. They're going to be safe for a while. We at least have a bit of plot armor here.
Well, it's also so much more lighthearted than that. Like, when they actually get into the shit, like, it's very comedic and, like, almost, I would call it, like, gentle.
Yeah.
This is definitely not a scary movie, despite it, like, balancing the line between horror and comedy, and I think definitely closer to the comedy side here. The Chuds in number one, I assume, were kind of like vicious, destroying monsters.
Yeah, and they look like monsters.
They do not look like monsters
They
here.
do not look like monsters
so
here.
We're about to get a really fun scene where Bud, the Chud, reanimates, and he's going to be doing some checking himself out in the mirror.
I want to pump the brakes here. A really fun scene. I'm sorry, but like, I don't find the 5 minutes of bad comedy we get at the parents' house really fun. He clogs the toilet, he rips up a picture of Steven's girlfriend, and takes a big bite out of the family dog. Meanwhile, Steven's parents are just enjoying one of the finest wines from the vineyards of Wisconsin and riffing on evolving beauty standards over the years.
My mother never used mud packs and beauty creams when I was a kid.
Your mother looked like Humphrey Bogart.
My mother never smoked a cigarette in her life.
Hang on, where is it? What are we doing here?
I mean, what we're doing is the screenwriters are throwing everything at us. They have no fucking standards here. They are willing to throw any joke out here, hoping they are going to get some laughs.
Yeah.
It's like a homeless man's version of Airplane. Just endless fucking like sight gags and one-liners, but it's all so shitty.
So I'm gonna come back at you a little bit here. Did you not find that the guy acting as Bud was having a good time and that made you enjoy it? Like, the actor who played Bud the Chud was loving life as he's looking at himself in the mirror and being an idiot and biting the dog and fucking overflowing the toilet in I don't understand ways, but
I'll agree with part of that statement.
okay.
He was enjoying himself.
Yeah, you just
That
didn't
did
enjoy
not
it.
make me enjoy it though.
I was gonna say, if somebody was gonna pay me any amount of money to star in this shit movie, I'd probably be pretty happy with myself too. But can I also just point out, I feel like you're saying this only because you fired up a fucking bonus feature on the Blu-ray, and it was the guy talking about what a great actor the Bud the Chud guy was, and now I feel like you're just fucking swimming in that wake.
No, I enjoyed Bud before we watched that. I think the guy playing that, and you pulled out a reference from him too. He was in another movie we watched.
Well, we found out after the fact he was in Phantom of the Paradise, which is a much, much better movie than this. He plays Beef, that fairly homoerotic glam rocker.
Yeah, and he was awesome in that too.
He was. I love the Beef character.
Yeah,
Two.
Yeah, I'm saying I enjoyed Bud.
I heard the two. Oh, God. All right. Well, it turns out that the family dog getting bitten is real bad news, as Chudism is spread when a Chud bites a living victim, thus causing, and I'm not making this up, a Chudification of the brain. So essentially, Chuds are just zombies now, mindlessly staggering around looking for living flesh. And speaking of mindless flesh, how about the workout lady we meet in our next scene?
Meat.
That was your thought when you saw her? Oh, God.
No, that was Bud's thought.
I did enjoy how instead of saying brains, they always said meat.
That is
They're
true.
not zombies, they're Chud.
Yeah, they're Chud.
That's the key difference. There you go. They're not discerning. Any meat will do.
Totally original idea.
What kind of meat are they going to carve off this workout lady?
Oh, my God. The coming out of her workout gear.
Come on, man. That's not all right.
So Bud ends up at this MILF's house, and she is working. She's working out in one of those crazy 80s spandex outfits.
It's a cheetah print something.
Yeah, she's cheetah print for most of it, but it also has the strange, like, deep V vag cut that goes up from her vagina and then over her shoulders.
Classic 80s.
And so she's doing a workout routine, but the entire time she's calling the lady in the video a fucking
What? She called her a neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
Which is weird because this lady looks way more Aryan than her. She's like blonde hair, blue eyes. The workout chick is like brunette and like look kind of Jewish. I don't know.
The poor lady is only doing this so that she can embrace her vices at full speed.
Isn't that the reason why anyone works out?
That's why I do it.
It's probably
That's my
the
main
most
gym motivation,
the most truthful part of this entire movie is that section where she is taunting the screen as she's exercising. Hilariously in the background, though, who do we have doing the moves while she's doing them?
Oh, it's fucking Bud. I will
it's
say,
so good.
I don't know about that, but I do love how this lady is simultaneously full of loathing for the fitness guru whose workout she's doing, but also completely open for business as soon as a seemingly living man shows up on her porch. Well, as long as he's heterosexual, her words.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you got to check that first. She was very aggressive calling the workout lady a slut and then very, very open to a chud.
Well, what big feet he had, though. That chud had big feet. And you know what they always say? Big feet, big hog meat.
That is the podcast slogan, actually. If you've never checked out our Instagram or website, I think you should go now and make sure you thumbs up that slogan.
So obviously, Bud the Chud bites the shit out of this lady, but that is nothing compared to what the mailman gets in our next scene.
Sorry.
Come on.
Almost lost some of my beer there because this scene is fucking fantastic. We transition to kind of the next morning and we get Steve's sister eating a bowl of cereal looking out the window while the boomer parents are having more of their stereotypical comedy going down at the breakfast table. While the mailman is trying to deliver the mail, we get our chudified dog, and holy fuck. We have a scene where it transitions from the parents eating to seeing a dog. What are we going to call it? Like
soar through the air and like attach itself to this guy's neck.
If someone threw it, like someone picked it up and chucked
from
the
off
dog stuff from off camera.
my immediate thought was Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah, the bunny.
was-
That
was the
That's
great
a
beast
great
of
call.
Cabana.
It really was. Oh my God. Yeah, it did feel like that right at his neck. And then we transition back to the horrified child watching all of this, which I'm enjoying. I think it's her reactions to all of this was actually pretty funny.
The best part, though, was when it drags him across the yard.
Oh my God. Yes.
That is not even a little bit realistic looking.
The acting was incredible.
The mailman committed here.
Oh,
He did, yeah.
He
got
went
total
down.
commitment.
They must have wrapped like a line around his wrist or something and dragged the shit of him.
Well, his legs are like pushing him back too, right?
we did see some. We will see some line work later.
Top
in the
notch
movie,
wire
so-
work,
Yeah.
yeah. Fuck.
Oh, it's so good. They do 2 shots of him getting dragged across the front lawn with letters everywhere, and he even does a flip at one point when this like little mangy poodle must have been like tearing him up. We now have the chudification going from our original Bud the Chud
To the dog.
to the mailman shit.
And the workout lady.
Oh my God, it's growing now. We have at least 4, if not more, based on the things that happened at the morgue. We don't know.
Well, you know that workout lady's going to get out there and fucking be
Get
real
some
active.
She's gonna find some meat for
She's
sure.
gonna
She's going to get physical,
She
yeah.
was looking for some meat. Let's get physical, exactly. Yeah. It turns out the mailman isn't going to be the only person visiting Steven's parents' house that day, as Robert Vaughn shows up with one of his stooges because the military have somehow managed to track Bud here. Now, unfortunately for them, Bud is in the wind right now, finding new clothes, getting haircuts, and lusting after Steven's girlfriend. He's also rapidly creating more Chud zombies, which we alluded to, like the barber who we see claiming another victim before staggering out into the sunset. I like that Robert Vaughn's car just happens to be driving by at this moment, but despite knowing exactly what's going on here, the only thing he has to say is this.
What the hell is that? Oh, just the goddamnedest, ugliest looking barber in the world.
Noel, you love government incompetence. Favorite line in the movie or what?
I did write that fucking line down because it was
There you go, yeah.
fantastic. I thought it was hilarious that Bud went to the barber to get himself like all cleaned up.
Doesn't know how to work a toilet, but got to get himself cleaned up.
He wants to look nice for Katie.
Of course, yeah, he's in
Yeah.
love.
I think he even went to the laundromat because his clothing is all clean.
That is mysterious. It's strange that his like stained shirt is now unstained. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he is really taking care of himself now, and I think that is growth for him. I'm proud of Bud here.
He's growing, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it at this point that he already has the suit that he stole from the guy?
Yeah,
That's
he
like
finds that he
8
kills
inches
some
shorter
guy and
from
then
it?
Yeah, he eats that guy who was coming out of the bar. We know that guy was like having a bad time in life, so he just released him from all of his like awful priorities and took his suit.
That seems like an aggressive
Now
judgment.
he's
of
a
some-
chud.
Guy's dressed up nice. He's not leaving the bar in like tattered rags. He's
No,
fucking-
but he was complaining about life when he left
He
that
was-
bar.
Oh, all right. I
He was
missed that
pretty
part.
hammered. He was having a tough time.
Just swing by the worker lady's house, man. Solve all his problems. In our next scene, we see that the Chudism is spreading through the community at a rapid pace. In fact, the local burger joint is just crawling with them. Luckily, Robert Vaughn finally realizes what's going on and whips out a bazooka to get rid of them once and for all. And by them, I mean the numerous innocent civilians who were in there, because we see in a minute, literally all of the Chuds survived the explosion. Maybe they should use woks instead, huh?
You know what this means? We are going to have to arm the men with walks.
What the fuck was this part?
I still don't understand that line.
I don't either. He said woks, right?
You absolutely did. It brought me back to an old cooking show, Walk with Ya.
Oh my god.
I remember that show. That's a Canadian reference that a lot of people will not get. But if you are a Canadian, you remember Walk with Jan.
Maybe it was a reference to Walk with Jan.
Ooh, is it Canadian production?
Maybe,
No.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, this is interesting, right? They are trying to reconnect our like teenage characters with Bud. They're trying to bring them back together in some way. They do meet up here at this weird burger joint for a second. The Chuds all go in and turn everyone into the restaurant into a Chud.
Not everyone.
No,
We see-
everyone.
No, we see there's some skirmish happening when Robert Vaughn's at the bazooka. People are like screaming and running away, and the guy jumps through the window, and then he blows it up. So I'm betting a lot of them were still alive.
See, I don't think so. I think part of the
I'll
like,
break this tie. This is why you're here. Come on.
I think they were all Chuds.
Oh,
They-
fuck me. Are
no,
you
no,
serious right now?
But
Yes.
they didn't die.
No, yeah, you're right on that.
They survived
No,
the
I
explosion.
know, but I
Okay.
thought I thought he blew up many innocent civilians.
No, there was no innocence
Oh,
in there.
But
They'd
he
all
didn't
been
know that.
Chudified.
He didn't know that.
No, he didn't know that. He's very reckless.
There we
He
go.
He doesn't care.
I mean,
All right, we're calling it a
Let's
draw.
not forget how he got. Let's not forget where he got the bazooka from.
The trunk
oh
postcard.
my god! But how did
But
he
how
get
did he
in
get
the
it?
fucking trunk?
I don't remember.
He shot it.
Well, listen, if you're in a hurry, I don't.
How does shooting a trunk open it faster than using the button?
Well, the lock is quick to pull a trigger. The lock explodes. You have to like turn the key. What if you have the wrong key? So
How
maybe he's got a
accurate
big
do you
key
have to
ring.
be to fucking shoot the lock of it?
He's
Way
the
more
sniper, as
accurate.
we see later.
Oh god damn it! He's firing fucking bullets into a trunk full of flamethrowers and rocket launchers.
Oh yeah, that is bad
No,
thing.
it was the
That's-
reverse flamethrower.
Oh, you're right. It's cryo
what's gonna happen? He's gonna
freezers,
freeze the
cryo
trunk? Come on.
freezers, and
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. So they blow this fucking place up. All of the Chuds though survive, which I don't really understand. how are they surviving a giant explosion?
That's why he wanted to use them as soldiers.
Right. But they are very susceptible to
Ice.
No,
but not really.
No.
Well,
Well,
we'll
we're
see
going to
that in a
learn in a
minute.
second.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
That's
not
part of
spoil
it.
this for anyone.
Sorry. Wouldn't want to do that.
No spoilers here. So after this, Stephen, Kevin, and Katie end up at a barn for some reason where they find Bud the Chud. Only I don't understand why they're there because they seem surprised to see him. Like, did they just randomly decide to visit a barn or like what is going on?
No, they ran into Bud and the other Chuds in a truck at the burger joint, and they follow him back to the barn.
But then why are they surprised to see him in the barn?
I don't understand that part. They know that he's going to be there. They know he's going to be there. I think they just greet him in a surprised way.
I don't know. This is a massive hole for
I
me.
feel like there was a lot of moments where people were surprised about seeing chuds.
They shouldn't have been. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
That's absolutely true. So now we're getting this moment where the teens have got Bud in a barn and they want to bring Bud back or bring him to the media so that they can get A+ and become famous.
They're still worried about the biology grades. I love that.
This is where we are.
But either way, the farmer who owns this barn is not happy to see them and tells them to get the hell out of there. But he has no idea what he's up against and quickly gets bitten by another Chud who then turns his attention towards our three heroes. But his head gets knocked off his body, which launches us into another round of slapstick, which all culminates with Robert Vaughn and company showing up and freezing the farmer, who of course has become chudified. At least they try to freeze him, but as Robert Vaughn tells us,
He's forcing his body temperature up to melt the ice. This guy is fucking fantastic.
is there anything these Chuds can't do?
Oh, he is horny as fuck about this, right? Because he's
Yeah.
like, they are mutating. We have the best soldiers ever. He's so excited.
He's got a raging military boner when he sees this.
absolutely. He even drops the like main line of this motherfucking film. He drops the "This Chud's for you" here.
Yeah, that is, we all enjoyed that play on words and very appropriate for the beer that we're drinking. Lovely
Exactly.
connection
Cheers,
here.
Bud
Yeah.
Light here. Delicious.
Has anyone else finished both their tall cans, or is it just me?
I'm done one. You're not done two.
I'm savoring
No
mine.
fucking way. Oh my God, he did it. Holy shit. All right, so Cooper has demolished both of these.
This is what's great about beer like this, is it goes down like water and you can drink more of it quickly. Stop fighting the natural evolution of beer.
What are you talking about? This isn't the natural evolution of beer. This is the devolution of
very
beer.
unnatural.
Wow, Bud Light is the devil? Swinging hard into conservatism here, Noel. This is not like you at all.
Well, I am about to drink my second, but...
Well, at this point, the military has to change their strategy again, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Before they go to clean up the town, Robert Vaughn makes sure no one's going to follow them by blowing up the truck the Chuds drove in on with what I'm going to start calling the Nolan special. A single shot from a handgun. Sniped it. You love it, right?
The worst part about this is he aims,
Yeah.
he points directly at
It's
the
a pistol.
truck
It's not even a big gun.
with a handgun, and there's not even a sound or bullet. Nothing.
They had burned through their effects budget
That one,
already.
yeah.
Well, they didn't because they explode the fucking truck.
Well, they were saving the money for the explosion. They couldn't afford blanks.
There was big explosions. There were a lot of explosions in this
There
movie.
was more than there should have been. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. This is a -1 point on the Nolan explosion scale because I just can't.
It was very enjoyable for me for how upset you got. And you knew too right away, Al. You knew.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, you're a longtime listener. You know the deal.
Oh, God damn it.
But they blew up the truck and then just let the chuds go.
Well, but the point is the Chuds couldn't drive.
Well, the
to follow
chuds
them.
can't. Right.
It's going to take them longer to get there.
they're not worried about them like shambling along.
You can't
trying to
contain
get
the
to town,
Chuds. You
right?
can just slow them down.
Oh, fair enough.
And that's definitely what happened. He did try to go after the Chuds briefly, but did a like banana peel slip. Oh,
Yeah, you slipped in the fucking melted ice that was around the Chud at one point.
Who knew Robert Vaughn had such slapstick chops?
Yeah, he's got physical comedy written
for
all
him.
over this
Did
guy.
he just
huh?
fall down because he was drunk and they kept it in the movie?
Absolutely. I think you're right.
That's right. We get some more scenes now of the Chuds wreaking havoc and multiplying. And wouldn't you know it, this is all coming to a head on Halloween night, which is awful timing because there's a bunch of zombies out there looking for human flesh. The last thing you want is a bunch of people walking around thinking the zombies are just people in bitchin' costumes. So I guess what I'm saying is, great job, screenwriter. It's a real coup for them here.
Oh my God, this wasn't the most convenient writing possible.
I think a good job by them. They had an end point and they fucking worked it.
I'm pretty sure you saw a poster for that Halloween dance in every single shot in the movie. So
That's where it's heading.
They have been spelling this out a lot, right? We know where the climax of this is going to be. And, oh, goodness. Yeah, we got Halloween. We have trick-or-treaters out there. We've got Steve Parents and his younger sister out there. We also have a surprise cameo here.
Yeah, it's Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund himself, out here doing this family. But we also get a full-on cameo, like one where the guy's actually talking. Norman Fell, who listeners may remember as Mr. Roper from Three's Company or Zeus from the Erotic Adventures of Hercules, opens the door to receive some trick-or-treaters. But these aren't human trick-or-treaters. They're chuds. So, trick, I guess. Is what
I mean, the brains were a treat for the chuds.
Oh, there you go. I like that, yeah.
we get some physical comedy out of our old actors, too, which is kind of funny. They flip over a couch before getting munched by all those children chuds.
Norman Fell was not just showing up for a paycheck. He came in here and he delivered.
Oh, he committed.
He's a pro.
Yeah, no one's going to argue that. I think that one's true.
Because Norman fell.
Oh, God damn it.
Fuck, that was almost Bud Light all over my lap.
Jesus Christ. Don't waste it. It's delicious.
Okay.
Chudism is running wild at this point, and even the CDC, where Robert Vaughn and crew are interrogating Stephen, Kevin, and Katie, isn't safe. Actually, I don't know why I'm surprised by this. We already know from before when they stole the body, there's no fucking security at all. Anyway, those three managed to get out, but not Robert Vaughn's right-hand man.
Oh, God, I knew I should have been a plumber.
That was kind of funny. I don't know.
I love that our general here is super excited that we can't kill the fucking chuds. He just loves that there's no way to take these motherfuckers down. These teens have figured out what's going on
They
here.
have, man, yeah.
We're going to have a world full of zombies, and if we can't figure out a way to kill them, which the general says is impossible, then it's all over for humanity.
No, that's true. And we all know where this is heading. It's the big Halloween dance at the high school. Steve, Kevin, and Katie race over there, but as they arrive, they see that Bud and his gang of chuds are already there. Still, they've got to try to get in there. So they head to the loading docks, which, as you pointed out, Al, is apparently just constantly open. The 80s were a more trusting time.
Very trusting, no security. Leave your corpses out in the open loading bay.
Everyone's neighbors. Yeah. Leave your corpses in the loading bay.
Yeah, we even had a character in this movie say they put their valuables on their front lawn every night to just make sure that people aren't stealing them.
No, wasn't that a dick? I thought it was like a thing like to show off how rich they were. Wasn't that the thing?
It was the guy who got fucked in the barbershop. I don't know. That was pretty funny.
That was the big Rich Hall cameo. SNL
Yes.
alum.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was Rich Hall there. There's some funny stuff that's happening here, right? The chuds on their way into the
If you say so.
Well, the chuds on their way into the big dance are doing a bit of a move together here. It felt like something out of a Michael Jackson
It's a
video.
thriller, yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
thriller vibes. They were feeling the 80s music.
Now, they weren't willing to have them do more than one or two moves so they wouldn't get sued.
I was
they-
going to say it's probably a copyright thing. Yeah, exactly.
they definitely tread lightly. It's at this point I'm like, there is not a single chud in this movie, right? Everything is a zombie. We have determined like long ago.
You've
that-
never seen the original Chud?
No.
Yeah, no, they look nothing like this. Nothing like
No
this.
glowing eyes, no like weird mutated bodies.
There's even one point in the original Chud where the Chud like stretches out its neck. Do you remember this part?
I do not.
So
Sorry.
Man. Okay.
I've only seen it twice, not like
Yeah,
the
it's-
fucking 17 times.
I
that
saw
you
it
have.
this morning. It's fresh.
Oh man, so it's funny when you take a sequel and you go so far from the source material. I guess we can kind of compare it to
Halloween 3.
Yeah,
Season
exactly.
Of the Witch.
That's
But that
where I
wasn't
was-
a comedy. That was Tom Atkins out there being serious, working like a pro, nailing that young girl like 3 times in one night.
Jesus.
Yeah,
but it had nothing to do with the rest of the fucking series.
it did not. Although the one movie plays in the background. We're now talking about a better movie. That should tell you everything you need to know about how fucking good this movie is. Once Steve, Kevin, and Katie are inside, they start making their way to the gym. Kevin armed with a military-grade nitro cannon, and Steven apparently armed with the ability to fly. They encounter the biology teacher, and when he gets hands on Katie, Steven like Peter Pans it across a laughably short distance to save her. That was so herky-jerky. Like, how could they have not gotten a better take of this?
Yeah, that was not impressive.
No.
I don't understand. They definitely took the time to wire him
They
up,
rigged him up, and it was so unnatural looking.
and they took one
You don't
attempt
think
at it.
that was just the best shot?
No, that was the only shot.
It looked like dog shit. There's no way.
Maybe the professor got injured in that move and he was
Yeah.
unwilling to get back up again. I'm not sure.
Something happened for sure. I don't know. But they finally figure out how to work this nitro cannon. and freeze the teacher. But as we've learned at this point, the Chuds can thaw themselves out. So they take these electric rods they used a second ago and hit him with them, and he fucking explodes. And all I could think of here was, this all started because they were worried about getting a bad grade in biology class, and now the guy who was supposed to give them that grade is dead. Irony.
But isn't it, you get an A if your teacher dies, right?
Is that true? I think
don't
if
know.
your roommate dies in college, you get an A. Did that happen to
I've heard it.
His roommate didn't die, but he might as well have. R.I.P.
I don't know these
Is
references.
not dead, as far as I know.
He's a lawyer. He might sue us. We should probably
yeah,
bleep that.
we should be careful.
Yeah, that's an interesting theory here. Does he get a free A because the teacher is now gone? Or, I don't know, what's the substitute teacher or the replacement going to give them for all of this work? I don't know.
It's not going to matter. Spoiler alert. Fucking Steve's going to be gone by the end of this.
Whoa.
Holy shit, I can't
Sorry,
believe you threw that
everybody.
out here right now. This fight is pretty funny, though. When he explodes, what is the effect that comes out of his body?
You mean like the rays of light coming out of his body? Yeah, I feel like they took that from something else.
That reminds me of the fucking light from the Chud eyes in the first one. There's our connection.
Sure.
No, not really. All right. I tried. I don't fucking know.
Oh my god, yeah. So this strange, like rays of light, like when the clouds part and light comes through.
Like he touched the Ark of the Covenant.
Yes, exactly. That's a good comparison. They just start blowing out of him, and that becomes the Chud explosion for the rest of the movie. This was setting the tone for that.
Chud explosion.
And we get a big one of those soon. Because at this point, they need to lure all the Chuds away from the dance. So Katie gets an idea. Basically, she's going to throw on the swimsuit she has in her locker and lure them to the pool with the promise of the best kind of flesh. Hot and wet. This swimsuit, why on earth does she have this in her locker? If she wore this to gym class, it would cause a riot. And it pretty much does here with these Chuds.
And why does she need to be wearing a swimsuit? Like her whole plan is just to get in the pool to draw them in and then get back out.
You know who was not complaining about this? Fucking Noel over here.
No,
the only complaint was she didn't show her boobs. That was his only complaint.
Oh my god.
It was the 80s high cut though.
Yeah, I mean,
She looked great in it.
complaints.
Like legit. Yeah, no complaints from me either.
this was.
He
pretty
has
funny.
complaints. He's gonna,
I'm not complaining
because she didn't show her.
I'm not
cans.
complaining. So,
ahead.
what happens when she shows up at the dance in her bikini?
86 separate Chud boners.
But the Chud, in his classic way, says Katie, and the call and response of the rest of the Chuds is what?
I don't remember. This was not worth it.
I don't remember either, but I know it was good.
They all say yum, yum, yum.
No, they don't.
They
Stop.
do.
absolutely
Yum,
do. They all say yum, yum, yum before chasing her through the school.
They do.
Oh,
All
God.
right. Well,
Even the jazzercise lady.
well, I mean,
So
she can probably
clearly-
appreciate how toned she is.
I know, but
that Nazi bitch.
The heterosexual requirements gone out the window, I guess, eh?
She was just
No,
jealous
she wants
because
the man to be
Yeah,
heterosexual.
yeah.
She is
Oh, I see.
heterosexual.
I see.
yeah, she was
She'll
just
take a going from anyone. So inappropriate. We're off the rails at this point, which I'm surprised took this long, actually. 52 minutes.
So Katie has lured them all with her yum yums. And they've made it to the pool.
The Chuds all end up in the pool, which Kevin manages to fill with liquid nitrogen thanks to those tanks they grabbed at the CDC. And we get some truly incredible effects here as the pool freezes. And with that, there's only one thing left to do. Unfortunately, they had not worked that part out yet. They are fucking scrambling here. How did they not have a plan?
They had a plan. Their plan was to get them all in the pool and freeze them.
But then what?
They had a part of a plan.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But they hadn't arranged the electricity, which they determined was the key feature to exploding all of the frozen Chuds.
It's the only way you can kill Chuds.
But even before that, they didn't know how to open the canisters to throw them. They were throwing closed canisters into the pool.
Yeah, they definitely fucked this up royally, and yet it still works. They've frozen them all. They find, conveniently, an axe and power lines close by to chop. We have way too much time of Kevin fucking up his electrical science understanding.
None of them know how electricity works. They know they need to get in there, but they completely do not understand how to do it.
All of the stupid stuff they're doing and being incompetent is really just giving time to have this showdown, or more of a romantic moment between our Katie character and Bud the Chud. Bud escapes his frozen prison in the pool and shambles his way after Katie, who climbs up to the top of the diving board. And we're going to get what has to be a all-timer cinematic moment here.
Oh, it was amazing.
I mean, Bud corners her on this fucking diving board, but he's not there for evil or maliciousness. He's there to give her his heart, literally. He pulls his heart out of his body and tries to hand it to her.
Yeah, he holds out his literal heart. It is like kind of shriveled and black at this point because he is a walking corpse. She doesn't know quite how to take this, and like before we get a resolution of their love story, Kevin gets in the fucking way here and freezes the shit out of him. I was kind of salty at Kevin here.
You were hoping for a romantic Katie Bud finale.
Yeah.
Real block, Kevin.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
He wants it for himself. That's where this all ends up. No, he remembers how to get the nitro cannon working in time to save her. This all culminates with Bud's body falling off the diving board, hitting the frozen pool, and we get just the mother of all metaphors as his heart literally shatters. But we don't dwell on it as the chuds explode and Stephen, Kevin, and Katie walk out into the night, having saved the town with very little help from the military. Only have Kevin and Katie not realized that Stephen's limping because he was bitten? We don't dwell on that either, though, as we immediately transition the next morning and Katie arriving to pick Stephen and Kevin up for school, but it's just Kevin as Stephen has decided to leave town and see the world. And we end with him doing exactly that, fully chudified, along with the family dog and Robert Vaughn, who is also now a chud. But it's Bianca Jagger finally making her appearance as the person driving this car who gets the last line.
Suppose we drive until dark and stop somewhere for a bite to eat.
And I cannot fucking believe this is the ending to this movie.
That was
Like,
huge
what is
payoff at the
happening
end.
right now?
Now, you kind of told us what the ending is here, and we get our outro song, and it's a song we'd heard earlier in the movie, too.
The Bud the Chud theme song?
Oh, my God. It has lines like, I'm a hungry man.
Listen,
and
No,
Bud the Chud.
I think, to be fair, the I'm a Hungry Man, I think that was another song. Because there's a song on the soundtrack called I'm a Hungry Man.
Oh,
Was that one by Wall of Voodoo?
It was.
Also?
They're all by Wall of
They
Voodoo.
have the one-hit wonder Mexican radio.
That's right.
I love fucking Mexican radio. I'm a big fan of that song. No, this is honest. We love movies where they have their own soundtrack.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a big plus for me.
I took away one for the fucking explosion, and I'm adding one for this Bud the Chud
There you
song,
go.
right?
So we're
It's
back
gonna
up
level
to
right
even,
up here.
yeah.
We're even right now.
Can I ask, though, like, should there not have still been some legal repercussions for these kids? Like, they broke into a military complex to steal a super soldier corpse.
Yeah.
I just
I
want to
feel
know
like-
what grade they got in biology class. That's where I'm at this point. Like,
Well, I
forget
mean-
the repercussions.
Well,
They did
also
learn a lot. They learned a lot.
Yeah, they also
Clearly.
froze and destroyed how many town members in that one
True.
fucking move.
True.
Like,
They fucked up the school pool, too.
They didn't kill as many townies as Robert Vaughn did, though. Just saying. I mean, much
all
like
even,
much
it's all
like you
even.
know, they're taking points away to add them. I think we come out even. The kids are all right.
Going back to the night, too, where was Robert Vaughn and the military while the kids were solving this?
We
whole
were
thing?
trying to figure this out. Robert Vaughn was missing for like the last 20 minutes of the movie. We had no idea where he fucking was. Then he shows up as a fucking chud. We're like, when did that happen? I don't understand at all.
Yeah, when did that happen?
I don't know.
they don't show us his chudification.
No.
I think based on what he was like, his raging boner for chuds the whole movie made me think he let someone bite him. If I was him, I would probably think it was the MILF. It was the exercise lady that he let bite him.
His raging boner. Fucking how Canadian do you sound right now?
Robert Vaughn would have been super pumped to see Bud tear out his own heart and still live, though.
Even more than that, we did get a like slight clip of just Bud's head talking even after he's exploded.
we get
right?
a post credits, and we only know this because we let the credits run in the fucking Blu-ray while we're sitting there finalizing our notes for this episode. But yes, we get a post credit scene that no one must have seen in real life. Who lingered in the theater to be like, let me get a look after the credits?
But it
for
didn't make
Judge Super
sense.
Judge. Well, it made no sense at all. It's Bud's head, inexplicably still intact. Earlier in the movie, fucking Steven like brings down an axe on it to like kill it because he's still alive when he hits the fucking thing. But apparently Steven is whiffed on it. Maybe he's already becoming a chud and he decided to like, I don't know, not kill him. But the head is fine. Bud just bids us all good night. And we're out at the 87-minute mark, and this felt every bit of it.
The whole movie felt like that opening scene walking down to the basement.
Just going forever.
no.
When am I going to get to the morgue? Yeah, that's what that sounds like. But you know what? This is a great time for us to transition to our ratings since Noel clearly wants to defend this piece of shit. So the way we always do this, we rate the movie on a scale of 1 to 10 two times. 1 to 10 for how bad it is, 1 to 10 for how enjoyable. And the goal is to find movies that are a 10 out of 10 on both scales, or what we call the Crit 20. And for me, I think this is absolutely a 10 bad movie. I tried real hard to like find ways to knock this down to a 9 or an 8. But even like in the scenes where they attempted to interject some craft, it was just so wildly apparent to me that this low budget production had like no rudder. I don't know who was steering this ship, but they were steering it in some weird fucking directions. The comedy is kind of scattershot. It's all over the place. The tenuous at best connection to the first movie confused and like disoriented me. The acting performances range from like awful to like kind of passable. I don't know what the fuck Robert Vaughn was doing. The effects were not very good. The logic behind a lot of the character actions made no sense to me. And just, again, the bizarre fucking tone of this whole thing caused me to give it a 10. So for me, the crit 20 is in play. What did you think, Noel?
So this is the third time I think I've seen this.
Which is insane. That's insane to me.
I don't remember any of it from watching it when I was a teenager, but I'm sure that doesn't surprise any of our listeners.
I hope I don't remember any of this either.
Yeah, that's fair. Things that I thought sucked ass. I thought the makeup was awful. They didn't go anywhere with the C.H.U.D makeup. Most of their time was on the teeth. And then they just put a little bit of like white makeup on them.
It was Spookies adjacent.
Yeah, it was not good.
Not good. Very low budget.
Plot is definitely a factor. There is very little logic to the things that happened and the order they happened and some of the strange stuff. Super over the top. They were throwing as many jokes as they could at us. They did not care if any landed. It's one of those where like just throw it all against a wall and if anything sticks, we fucking done it. So in defending it a little bit, I think they knew what they were doing. I think that they meant to make this a comedy, and in many ways I find that difficult to judge the bad rating.
We've had this before, where
right?
it's like when they steer into it, what do you do? Because are they making it bad on purpose?
And I think that was the intent with this movie, right? They knew what they were doing. They were making a horror comedy. They were not trying to make a serious horror movie. With that, I think they were successful in a lot of the little funny connections they made throughout in terms of like having signage that matched the actions that were happening, making them do kind of funny stuff. I didn't think this was bad enough to give it a 10. That being said, it is still low budget, terrible acting, all of those other things I've said. So I had it at a 9. But I think because they achieved some of what they were trying to do and they had that little bit of craft in there that made it work for me, I'm keeping it as a 9, not a 10.
All right, well, now the pressure is on our special guest. Al's going to have to break this tie again. Al, your bad rating on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think?
So I'm going to put it out there right away. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Al.
I'm sorry.
You know what? No, this is 2 in a row.
I love being justified.
But I don't think it's good at all. I do agree that they leaned into it being a comedy, but I still don't think they had a fucking idea what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like it was just like some of the lines were like, is that supposed to be a joke? I don't know.
Like the walk line?
What was that? I still don't understand that. He says walks, right?
Oh, absolutely.
He's arming them with Asian cookware? Like, what are we doing?
I'm gonna watch this again to see if that makes sense.
Yes.
Maybe there's some like callback earlier in the movie.
Are we doing 3 in a row? Are we going to watch this 3 times
No,
in a
I
row?
don't have time for that shit. No. Nope. Absolutely.
But the acting was terrible. The writing was terrible. The special effects were terrible. And I knew the special effects were terrible right from the get-go because the liquid in the syringe looked like Mountain Dew. And then they were having a meeting and they just had like brains in Mountain Dew on the table and just like this. Yeah. And having just rewatched C.H.U.D is not.
Did you actually rewatch C.H.U.D?
I did. I just
God
rewatched
bless you,
it.
Al. You know what?
I had to prepare for this. I'm not coming in naked.
It's nice when our guests do a little work, not like fucking producer John who just shows up being like, I like Nintendo. No, I'm sorry.
I love that we're getting a John dig in here out of nowhere. No reason.
We love you, John.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would maybe give it 9 out of 10 bad.
That's fair. You know what? We're going to defer to you, the guest. Well, now the pressure's really on because you have to give us the first rating for how enjoyable you found this movie on a scale of 1 to 10. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how enjoyable was C.H.U.D 2, but the
I mean, I think I'll be generous and give it like a 6 out of 10.
Okay. So you had some fun.
I think like 4 of those points are just the process of doing this.
That's exactly what our friend Brad said about Caddyshack 2. When and where you watch it, who you watch it, it affects your enjoyment of the movie. I maintain this from the start. Yeah.
Was Caddyshack 2 like C.H.U.D 2 and it had nothing to do with golf?
No, it actually had a lot to do with
that's good.
golf.
Well,
but
yeah.
it took a lot of right
Kind of
turns.
more to do with real estate, actually.
It is actually a fair comparison, the sequel of that and this sequel.
I mean, I think C.H.U.D, to be fair, the first one was not a good movie, but it was very low budget. I think they did pretty well for how low their budget was. And this one, I mean, I guess they still had a low budget, but they went in a different direction. Robert Vaughn was good. Yeah, there were some jokes that I was like, I think they meant to do that.
that's very faithful.
And that's why they got a 9 and not a 10 in their bad rating.
And it's why they got a 6 for enjoyable.
I think it really the one the only one that did it for me was there was some blood spatter on the sign, and I can't remember what the sign said.
Something about a splash of
flavor
or something.
Yeah. Some thought went into that.
Yeah, some thought. Yeah, I agree.
The rest of it, I'm not so sure.
Okay, so you've got it as just a 6 because of Robert Vaughn and the one fucking sidekick.
So we've
just a 6, yeah.
We've locked in a 15 for this bad boy then. That's good, yeah.
And
what about you, Noel?
That feels high, but yeah.
No, that's good. That's
Mine's
good.
gonna be way higher than that. I don't know. Go ahead, Noel.
So, I actually had a pretty good time with this.
I had a really good time, yeah.
I love that it had its own theme song.
That was good. I'll give it points for that.
So that was fun. They put a lot of silly physical comedy in here. The scene with the dog
and the mailman
was fucking amazing. They leaned into the absurd, and I loved that shit. So I laughed a lot at when they went over the top. When he fucking pulls a rocket launcher out of a trunk he just shot into and then blows up a burger joint, I was like, fuck yes.
Even when he mentions the walk.
That explosion you're okay with. Yeah, I see.
Rocket launchers explode shit. Guns that don't shoot bullets at cars don't explode shit. That would have been a -1, but it got balanced out by the theme song.
There you go. All right, what do you got for
so
this?
There's there. So I love the absurdity. It is 80s, and 80s always brings a sense of enjoyment to me, right?
Always.
I liked Bud and his ridiculousness when he pulled out his heart and handed it to her in a sincere way.
I saw a single tear rolling down your cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. I had this as a 9 enjoyable.
You know what, man? I thought this was pretty fun, though. I had this as an 8 enjoyable. I'm kind of like in between you two, but like I had a lot of fun watching this. There were a lot of scenes that, I mean, when he dives at the science teacher, that popped all of us. We were all laughing.
Yeah,
I laughed at that. I liked Robert Vaughn too, much like Al. And I had fun watching this with you guys. Having seen the first one, I feel like this is why you are so low in your enjoyment rating. I'm lower than Noel because I don't understand. I spent the whole movie being like, this doesn't make sense. It's not the same thing. And that took me out of it, like, to some degree. But I would still enjoy it enough to get up to an 8 because there was enough shit that's just so fucking ridiculous that I couldn't help but laugh at it. But the script has major problems. So yeah, I'm only at an 8 for enjoyable, but still a pretty good score. Same as you. I'm a 10 and 8. You're a 9 and 9.
Yeah.
Al's fucking dragging behind here, but he is the original C.H.U.D super fan.
I shouldn't have watched C.H.U.D so recently.
But you know what? No judgment though. You're our guest, and we're thrilled to have had you here. Before we let you go, what did everyone think of this beer? How'd you guys feel this Bud Light?
I didn't get any.
Fuck you.
Don't
lie.
Cooper drank it all. Cooper just downed a 12-pack of Bud Light and made us drink water.
I've had more Bud Light than everyone. That's true because I am a lover of traditional beer, and this is a traditional beer. And you know what? I feel great. This is it's light. It has not filled me up. I've had 3 of these tall cans, feeling strong. And if I had to cloak it in wokeness to get Noel to agree, I'm fine with that.
Are you trying to get a Bud Light sponsorship?
Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? I'd take a Bud Light sponsorship in a second. If they want to swing back towards like the hetero side, I'm your guy.
No comment. No.
You guys have a good time drinking this?
Yeah, I mean, I crushed 2 of them pretty easily over the course
point.
of this.
It's
right?
a delivery system for alcohol, and that's what Bud Light does.
I guess like the movie, I enjoyed it more, the fact that I'm with you guys.
All right, well, you know what? I'm glad we drank this Bud Light, and I'm very glad that you were here for us today. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Happy to be here.
Well, these are happy times then, and speaking of happy times, we've just about reached the end of our season here. Up next is going to be our season finale episode in 2 weeks. Noel, we're going to be watching Transformers Revenge of the Fallen.
Fuck yes, Shia LaBeouf.
I was going to say, it's your boys. It's Shia LaBeouf. It's Michael Bay.
Oh my
it's
God.
2 titans of cinema, you called them. And we're going to be enjoying that in 2 weeks' time because we wanted to go out big for our season 4 finale.
You know what? I think the Transformers might be a bit of a guilty pleasure Right? It's one of those things that you're slightly ashamed of, but I think I will enjoy our movie next week. It's just a bit of a prediction. Maybe I'm going to be wrong, but
there you have it. If you'd like to hear Noel give Transformers Revenge of the Fallen a 1 bad and a 10 enjoyable, join us in 2 weeks' time for that. Before then, if you have not already, please follow us on social media at the BMB Podcast on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, feel free to send us emails, thebmbpodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. We always love hearing from you, and we are planning out season 5 right now, so send us your requests. We'd like to thank our friend Al for being here with us today, and we hope that you will join us in 2 weeks' time for Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Until then, I'm Cooper.
And I'm Nolan.
And we'll see you next time on Bad Movies and Beer.
Keep eating beat.
This Chud's for you.